The Resemblance Season. 1. Episode 3. Me and Joy went to the school field where some of our seniors were playing football to watch them, as I was not interested in any other thing except for football, which I hoped would make me forget what just happened. We stood where students were allowed to stay and watch the match. As we were there, the new girl passed with a friend, and I looked at her and still saw the same eagle or bird that I saw earlier. But this time, I controlled myself just to make sure that she won't notice I am still seeing it. But I was wrong, she noticed, as she turned and smiled at me. I noticed that any time she smiled at me and I look up to her even earlier in the class, she always closes her eyes immediate our eyes meet. I really don't know why she does that, but I will definitely find out when I get to the house and meet my dad. After school that day, my mom came with her car and picked I and my brothers from school. On our way to the house, my mom asked me how my day was, but I did not respond. Not because I do not want to, but because I tried and couldn't make a sound. I tried harder, but still couldn't make a sound. Tears started pouring down my cheek. I desperately wanted to shout my elder brother's name, but I couldn't. My body started shaking. I was feeling cold and dizzy. I can't believe I was dumb. I am really too young to become dumb, God. I cried silently. I managed to tap my brother, who was sitting close to me. He looked at me and asked me why I was crying. I opened my mouth but still couldn't speak. Really, Flora? You do not want to tell me why you are crying? Then continue crying, nah. Who cares? He said, and continued what he was doing with his phone. My mom turned. Why are you crying, baby girl? And concentrated on the road. I couldn't respond, and by this time my brothers were all facing me surprised. My immediate younger brother looked at me closely and shouted, Mommy, I think she can't speak. What? What do you mean by that? My mom asked. She cannot speak, Mommy, he repeated and started crying, holding me close to himself, and that was the last thing I remember before I lost consciousness. I stood up from the car seat, but I noticed that my body was still on the seat. My brothers were all crying, and my mom was driving so fast to a nearby hospital. I became scared because I did not know what was happening. I tried tapping my mom, but my hands passed through her. I was in shock. I tried to tap any of my brothers, but I couldn't. It was becoming clear that maybe I was dead. I cried because I really have a lot of things I haven't enjoyed and achieved in life. I am just 7-year-old, for goodness sake. I shouted Jesus. This was my first time calling that name outside our morning devotion or church service. I went down on my knees and wept as I prayed, Jesus, I don't want to die. Now I am very young and have a lot of things to do that I have not done. I will like to make a deal with you, that if you give me a chance to live again, I would do anything you want from me and I will serve you the way you want. Please just help me to wake up and not die.